Song Weilong's reaction is the reason fans cannot stop talking. It was not a dramatic speech, not a planned statement, and not some carefully prepared interview answer. It was one of those moments that happened so naturally that people immediately felt they had seen something real. The way he looked at Zhao Jinmai, the small pause before answering, the expression that seemed impossible to hide, those few seconds created a wave of discussion that spread everywhere. And now one question is getting louder: did Song Weilong accidentally confess his feelings for Zhao Jinmai? The reason this moment feels different is simple. Fans have watched Song Weilong for a long time. They know his public image. He usually appears calm, controlled, and measured. Even when surrounded by cameras, he knows how to keep his emotions balanced. That is why this recent interaction stood out so much. People were not reacting because someone created a rumor out of nothing. They were reacting because his body language looked genuine. It felt spontaneous. It felt like something that escaped before he could pull it back. It happened during a public appearance when Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai were standing together. The atmosphere was already warm. They were comfortable with each other, smiling naturally, speaking in a relaxed way. Then came the question that changed everything. When asked about Zhao Jinmai, Song Weilong did not give the kind of distant professional answer that celebrities often use. Instead, there was a moment of hesitation. He smiled, looked toward her, and his expression softened immediately. It was the kind of reaction people notice because it arrives before words do. That is what made fans pay attention. Before he even finished speaking, people felt they had already seen the answer on his face. His words were simple, but that simplicity made them stronger. Sometimes a carefully crafted statement feels empty. But when someone pauses, smiles without meaning to, and seems suddenly aware that everyone is watching, it creates a different effect. Fans quickly began replaying the clip. They slowed down the video. They watched his eyes, the way his shoulders relaxed, the way Zhao Jinmai reacted beside him. The conversation instantly moved beyond the interview itself. People started asking whether what they saw was just friendship, or something deeper. And Zhao Jinmai's reaction became another reason the moment felt so real. She did not look surprised in an uncomfortable way. Instead, there was a calm familiarity between them. Her smile felt natural. She looked at him with the kind of ease that suggests trust. That is why viewers felt there was something special in the atmosphere between them. Not because they made a grand announcement, but because they looked genuinely comfortable in each other's presence. That kind of chemistry cannot be easily manufactured. Fans have seen many celebrity pairings. They know when interactions look formal. They know when people are simply promoting a project. But what happened here felt softer, more instinctive, more personal. It was not about dramatic romance. It was about small details. Those small details are often what people believe the most. One of the biggest reasons this moment exploded is because Song Weilong's expression seemed to reveal emotion before logic stepped in. That happens to people when they care. The face reacts first. The mind catches up later. That tiny delay is exactly what fans think they witnessed. And once people noticed it, they could not stop noticing more. They started looking back at earlier appearances between Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai. Suddenly, old moments took on new meaning. A glance here. A smile there. The way he listened when she spoke. The way she seemed relaxed around him. Moments that once looked ordinary began to feel different under this new light. That is how these conversations grow. One moment changes the way people interpret everything that came before it. Some fans pointed out that Song Weilong often appears especially attentive around Zhao Jinmai. When she speaks, he seems focused. When she laughs, his expression often changes too. These are not loud signals. They are quiet ones. But quiet signals are often the ones that feel most convincing because they are harder to fake. What makes the story even more fascinating is that it does not feel forced. There was no obvious attempt to create a viral headline. No dramatic confession. No exaggerated behavior. If anything, the power of the moment came from how accidental it appeared. That is exactly why people are calling it an accidental confession. Not because he said the words directly, but because fans believe emotion slipped through before he could carefully shape his response. And that matters. In celebrity culture, audiences are used to polished interviews and controlled narratives. Real spontaneity stands out immediately. When people sense authenticity, even in a tiny expression, they hold on to it. That is what happened here. Another reason this moment hit so strongly is because Song Weilong and Zhao Jinmai have a dynamic that feels balanced. Neither seems to overpower the other. Their energy feels natural. There is comfort, ease, and a sense of mutual attention. Viewers notice that kind of balance quickly because it feels human. You could even see it in the way they stood together. Their posture did not suggest distance. It suggested familiarity. Their smiles did not look forced for the cameras. They looked like people sharing a moment they understood together. And for fans, that can say more than any sentence. Of course, there are also people who believe the moment should not be overanalyzed. They argue that actors often develop close friendships while working together. Shared time, shared projects, and long filming schedules naturally create comfort. That is true. Not every meaningful interaction automatically becomes romance. But that perspective has not stopped the discussion. In fact, it has made it even more interesting. Because now people are not only asking what Song Weilong meant. They are asking what exactly they saw in that moment. Was it affection? Was it admiration? Was it simply a natural bond that cameras happened to capture at exactly the right second? That uncertainty is part of what makes the clip so powerful. It leaves room for interpretation, and people keep returning to it because they feel there is something honest there. And maybe that is the real reason this moment has stayed alive. It does not feel like a publicity strategy. It feels like a glimpse. A small human moment that slipped into public view. For Song Weilong, that may be why the reaction has become so intense. His fans know him as someone who usually keeps emotional control. Seeing that brief shift, seeing him appear almost caught off guard by his own feelings, created a completely different kind of impact. For Zhao Jinmai, it also revealed something important. Her calm, warm response added emotional weight to the moment. She did not interrupt the atmosphere. She seemed to understand it. That only made viewers even more curious. And now every new appearance, every shared interview, every public interaction is being watched more closely. People are paying attention to details they might once have ignored. A quick look. A smile. A subtle reaction. Every moment becomes part of the larger conversation. That is the fascinating part of what happened. One tiny expression changed everything. Did Song Weilong accidentally confess his feelings for Zhao Jinmai? The honest answer is that only Song Weilong truly knows. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more.